Lordship Justice Shri N. Venkatachala. The 3rd of July 1930 to the 30th of October 2019. By Suresh Kumar Makam. Quote of Mahatma Samarth Sadguru Parmama Pujya Shri Ramchandraji Maharaj of Fatehgarh. Benevolently addressed as Shri Lalaji Maharaj and Shri Babuji Maharaj addressed him as Adi Guru. Truth Eternal is the book written by Shri Lalaji Maharaj, Adi Guru. This directive below quote is for the sake of interested readers who are pursuing God realization and self-realization, as well as for the general good of readers. Cleanse your manas, mind, with practice of sadhana and then go through literature. Otherwise, reality will be lost upon you. A saint at heart but a judge in life and living too. Is Justice N. Venkatachala. God-sent opportunity, a boon bestowed by Lady Luck of my life. Sahibs, his association, which came to my lot with my revered mentor, Justice Dr. Vittal Rao's kind companionship. I am not an advocate, nor I am attached to any legal office or entity. I am not a rich man too. I am humble wage earner. When the association was began blooming in never I could be of some help to Sahibru. As always, he is only in a position to help others. But I am a hard worker, sincere and honest person, self-employed. Now I am an Acharya, founder of a method of meditation practice based on heart of Raja Yoga principles. About Sahib, in the words of Justice Dr. Vittal Rao. See how he explains about the issues for which we came to consult him and to seek solution, without telling, and before opening our mouth of our problems or issues. He gives solution and lighter our minds and heads and provides console thereby comfort our troubled hearts. Is he not a saint? What else he is, then, is the reverse query. From Justice Dr. Vittal Rao in further he continued to say that we have to just to come and sit before him and he will give answers to us without any questions to him. A saint, who doesn't need to be presented questions to answer but present before him your troubled beings with pained hearts. That is all is needed with him, is the brief to me by Justice Vittal Rao. And as I was aware about the issues which were troubling in this discussion was while returning home fully satisfied and relieved. After spending some couple of hours at his Sadashivnagar residency of Sahib. This is the repeated occurrence in the life of Shri Justice Dr. Vittal Rao. As Sahib Justice N. Venkatachala was the one and only friend, so dear to him. With him, he could share his pain and problems. This is how it continued. As I had watched from the very close quarters of life of Shri Justice Dr. Vittal Rao. During the period of Sahib, some health problem propped up for Sahib and was taking treatment as an in-house patient at Nimhans. And Shri Justice Dr. Vittal Rao was shaken and troubled a lot and worried with this happening in. He used to visit him at Nimhans, directly from the High Court and silently. He used to offer prayers and conduct meditation and direct the pranahuti, pranasya pranha, the transmission, yogic energy, for which he was authorized and developed skill to transmit pure transmission, without any malice, and it was transmitted to Sahibru every day for almost 45 days plus. Or till he was in the Nimhans and further he used to visit Sahibru's home, as it was via to his house in 14th Main Sadashivnagar. From the court, I used to address Shri Justice Dr. Vittal Rao as Appa in Kannada language and he used to treat me as son and there was good chemistry between us and good amount of goodwill with us. When I asked him why are you taking so much strain and you are also a very delicate person, though in good health but you do not have so much of reserve surplus energy and it is having bearing on you. For that he said, he is a great man. His presence and continuation is need and necessity for the society. Society can't afford that great loss, and whatever may be my efforts in the form of prayers and meditation is very little, including my physical effort, and apart from this, he is dear friend of mine and I need him as companion. Shri Justice Dr. Vithal Rao is basically less spoken and his talk will be in gestures and with eyes. He speaks a lot, not by mouth by and large, and when he spoke in length, it became my turn to get shocked. That is the pedestal upon which Sahibru was kept by him. A great host and a compassionate human being. A humane at heart. Is Sahib. We 10 of us along with Justice Dr. Vithal Rao, District Judge Shri Venkatachala Rao Kulkarni, Shri B.P. Handkarmat, Advocate from Raichur, who is the junior of Justice Dr. Vithal Rao, went to New Delhi, soon after Sahib's elevation to the Supreme Court, as Lordship, on the way to Shahjahanpur, birthplace of Sahajma, a way of life, with the meditation practice, and Shri Vithal Rao was a preceptor, appointed by Shri Ramchandra Ji Maharaj, to train people on the path of God realization or self-realization. With the help of Pranahuti, Pranasya Pranha, transmission, is yogic energy which born in the heart of yogi. Visit to the place is holy pilgrimage. For us, soon after our arrival at New Delhi railway station platform, a surprise was encountered, i.e., chauffeurs were waiting to take us to Sahib home and reached the home. The home was prepared and kept in spec and clean state for all the guests, and rooms and other amenities like heaters, beds and rugs, etc. were kept ready for all of us. As it was January and February month, a severe winter for southerners, and after due pleasantries exchange with Sahib, we were lodged well and settled with our huge luggage, and it was noon time. Lunch time. And Sahib said in Kannada, "Fresh up and have hot lunch and take rest thereafter." We were all hungry, but we didn't eat. We only devoured our lunch. A wonderful South Indian pure vegetarian tasty meal. Except Justice Dr. Vithal Rao, who eats only to live. A frugal eater. Sahib took all the care and pain to take care of us with every minute detail to provide us a homely, rather royal comfort. This is the same treatment for me in Vithal Rao's ship for decades, and Sahib knows that. Justice Vithal Rao likes hot meals, and his chamber at High Court was in the same row, almost next to each other. Mother, Lady Grace of the house, used to send hot meals for 5 to 6 people from the Sahib's house, and Justice Vithal Rao had no excuse to skip his meal or lunch, and I was also fortunate to had lunch at Sahib's chamber whenever I visited the High Court, on the call of Justice Dr. Vithal Rao, and I was just a student then. The supply chain of hot meal never stopped till the retirement from the High Court for Justice Dr. Vithal Rao, and at State Commission as President. A regular phenomenon was no meal or lunch, and only tea, biscuit and a banana, and evening coffee with me at Nilgiris or Brahman coffee bar, Chamrajpet, with 1 vada coffee. When meal carrier comes from home but not guaranteed of having meal. Justice Dr. Vithal Rao retired on January 12 and assumed the office of President, State Consumer Commission. It is the same repeated version of treatment for all of us who ever or know of people visited Shib's home, and same treatment given to our drivers and our companions to by the mother, the Lady Grace of the house. Other family member used to join in this task, and it is like indelible ink print on my conscience, remained afresh till now. When the elevation of Justice Dr. Vithal Rao took place from the district bar, and it was only one time, Dr. Vithal Rao took oath on the 30th of April 1979. At that time, during the period of Chief Justice, Lordship Sri Chandrasekhar's tenure, the first meeting with Sahib blossomed deep affection for him, and it continued till the end, and people were envious about their friendship. Truly brotherhood experienced and visible to one and all. It is the same treatment at Sahib's house, whoever visited his home all along his life. Sahib remained as a role model for friendship. As the proverb or quote says, "A friend in need is a friend indeed," and in all the tasks family of Justice Dr. Vittal Rao. Begin with the site allotment. The one who prevailed over him is Sahib only, and thereafter Sahib stood with him from the architectural planning to the completion of the construction of a building, and in all the family marriages and functions. Sahib's say prevailed. It was the same from Justice Dr. Vittal Rao's side to the family of Sahib's family and all the marriages of the family of Sahib's house. Begin with SMT Dr. Arunamma, Shri Seshachal, Shri Venkatachala, Shri Arjun. Sahib always placed an invitation to all the functions and events, personally inviting me along with Justice Dr. Vittal Rao, and I never missed a single function and attended all the functions with Justice Dr. Vittal Rao. Here is the nobility of Sahib. Which is he, noble? Though I am nothing individually, but the respect and concern he shown to me and also to my family members is one of the finest traits of the pure bloodline. Royal in gesture and deed, and his concern for his friend and to the friends of his friend was the same. Shri G. Raghavendra Rao, one of the retired district judge, mentioned an event recently of Sahib's noble gesture of nobility. That too after retirement from the service of him, when the said district judge visited Sahib to wish him on festival day along with his wife. After offering due respects and wishes and about to leave the home of Sahib, suddenly Sahibru inquired with him that how he came to see him. And how were you going back? Where he was going back? The plain reply was that, "Sir, we came by auto and we will go back by catching an auto," and Sahibru in a jiff dressed up and came down and driven them in his car to Justice Dr. Vittal Rao's house. In the words of that district judge about Sahibru is that, he is truly noble. His simplicity, his flexibility of nature, down to the earth behavior was vibrantly visible from the very beginning, and this trait of him was even mentioned to me by Justice Dr. Vittal Rao, about how three of them, i.e., Justice Dr. Vittal Rao in his private car, Premier Padmini, he used to go to Justice Sabhahit's house, and along with him he used to come to Justice MNV's house in Amanavaru. The Lady of Grace of house never sent them without tea, and that is the time Sahibru used to get ready, and at that time the salary of High Court judge was 2,500 rupees, PM, and no car and no other facilities. And three of them sharing back seat, as the front seat used to be with tapal, court green boxes with the files of three lordships. They used to share the back seat with pleasure and with joy. Justice Sabhahit was most jovial and used to crack jokes till they reached the court and they get dispersed to their respective chambers. That too with parting laugh. They enjoyed the judicial work and with the deep bond of friendship with values. Justice Vittal Rao used to say that Justice N. Venkatachala doesn't know about discrimination based upon castes or creed and sex, and he used to treat all the judicial officers of all the courts in the same manner, and he used to help all officers who ever genuinely in trouble, and for such of them he used to be godfather. And whenever my visit with Justice Vittal Rao or myself, I happened to see different courts, different kind and position officers, and not certainly from one single caste, and he used to command respect not by the power but by the concern to them in sincerely well wishing them and their families. Judicial acumen and pragmatic understanding about the very formation and existence law courts. He could make me, a novice, can understand in his simple, Utterances. My query, what for the law courts created? He said, to hear. Who is the advocate? What for he is? To assist the courts and asserts the rights of litigants and present accordingly the case. At his bungalow in New Delhi. After dinner, in his leisure time, we all gathered in the drawing hall, where Justice Dr. Vittal Rao was present, and it was like Sahibru was presiding over a session and everyone was enthusiastic to know the working of Supreme Court and bench's status. Court halls and officials, and how different the work is from high courts and especially from our home state, and he was gracefully and patiently answering, like explaining to children one by one to everyone. And when my turn came up, I raised this query, addressing him as, "My lord, you were practicing advocate, government advocate, elevated to Lordship of the High Court, and also elevated as acting Chief Justice and headed tribunal, now elevated to the Supreme Court as Lordship. What it mean, the elevation and position of Lordship?" With a bewitching smile, crossing legs, in relaxed way, though it was crossing 11 p.m. plus. Time was crawling to midnight. Even then Sahibru replied this way, "It is not the size of the chair. It is not the height of the chair or position of the chair or cushion of the chair. But it is about the responsibility upon me. Now below my pen, the population of India, the land extent of India, the skies of India, the waters and oceans of India and depth of India's responsibility come. Now if I put a comma at a place where I was supposed to put a full stop, it changes the meaning, sense and direction and vice versa, and it affects 100 crore population. And the change, correction can take place only when it is referred, comes to my bench or higher bench for rectification, and it became finality, and years may get lapsed and it ends up into justice delayed is justice denied. This should be always in my mind and before me while passing judgments in the matters of justice. Dispensation. I was aghast to hear this sermon, and thereafter he benevolently addressed all, "Now go and take rest. It is late." As we had informed our plans earlier, a breakfast visit to Lordship, Justice M.N. Venkatachala, to visit Shri Santosh Hegde, and had requested Sahibru for the visit. And he said, "I had reserved you all to attend the Supreme Court 3 judges bench of Justice M.N. Venkatachala, Justice Kenya, Justice Jeevan Reddy and S.R. Advocate. Former Central Law Minister, Shri Shanti Bhushan is arguing the case, and Shri Ojha, former Governor of Odisha, is opposing, and another case is by an young, intelligent and knowledgeable lawyer. One Mr. Subramaniam, vaguely I remember, is presenting the case to the bench, and it will be interesting for you people." And stating this, he retired for the next day as the clock ticked away into AM from PM. Sahibru oversaw all our plans go right with transport facilities, and we completed our plans accordingly. As a teacher, as guide, and who intend to expose a commoner like me, apart from learned judges, advocates, to the higher judiciary and its infrastructures and work and conduction, so that they can be elevated in thought and comprehension. But he had not had an iota of ego or self-projection, and he saw only welfare and good of us, and not asked us to visit his bench. Though we were all well accepted the offer of visiting his bench. On his assuming the office of Chairman of National Environmental Appellate Authority of India in the year 1997. Thereafter some time I went to New Delhi with my wife. Maybe in the month of April, and as I was knowing that Sahibru was not in station, I was booked at Oberoi Shertong and called on home landline to wish Amavaru and to inform her that we had come to New Delhi. Mobile phone was not introduced yet in Bangalore. The first query, "Why did you not come to home, and why were you staying at hotel, and is Sahibru not home?" You don't want to come home or what, and Sahibru is reaching home by tomorrow morning. So vacate room and come home. But somehow I pleaded and made her to accept my so-called request of not coming home and overstayed. I thought it was nice. Next day morning by 7 a.m. a telephone call was connected to my room stating that a call from Lordship and Lordship was online. Actually I woke up with the bell ringing and I said hello. In Kannada, Yenappa Yajamana. Edya. Shabare edadini. Illa nane ebasadina. I lied. Illa edi dy. Haga. Kelege ka aid. Poteko nalli. Luggage pack madikondu manega ba. Ninna maduve ada mail. Henti jote bandidia. Ondu 10 dina I bagadalli oddikondu amele ninnana kalusthini. Inu dadu ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿದೆಯಾ. Oberoi shirtong nalli room madidia. Enu amavaru. Hosabyo. Aru heladeu kelia anthi avaranu amershidia. Shabare barta I dine anta heli. Binglaw Cade Hode. Shri Seshachala, elder son of Sahibru, with his children was there, and as usual, royal treatment was given to us, and Sahibru set out his car for us to roam around Delhi. The next day morning, casual talk went on for some time, inquiring about Justice Dr. Vittal Rao and family as well as my family and my profession, and in casual way Sahibru mentioned about his official posting of chairmanship, and further stated that this legal body has all the powers about the cases pertaining to the environment of India, i.e., the land, the skies, the waters, and below, connected issues of 200 crore rupees and above the matter. And he said he visited the Paradip ports, a natural port, developed by Vijayanagara Emperor and now not in good stead, and there was dispute in our Bangalore law firm. Holla. Nettar and Patil is for government and against his other party, and it appears he was convinced with the argument of our people. I could feel the palpitation of concern for the environment and pain for the gross negligence of the government machinery and procrastination, apathy of state, in just little support for the natural port development, and state of affairs in the country. Sahibru woke us up at 2:30 a.m. as my flight was at 5:30 a.m. and kept the car and driver to drop us at the airport. What can I say for all these? When Sahibru took the oath of Lokayukta in the lawns of Raj Bhavan, and thereafter Justice Dr. Vittal Rao and me met him at his residence, and it appeared that he is going to do some good to the state, and curiosity prompted me to raise a query. That is it possible to eradicate corruption from the state and country? And he replied in negative and said that he will strive for spreading the awareness about the bad effect of corruption and impact the children of the corrupt people, young minds, so that at least the next generation may become aware of the evil and ills. And secondly, I am intend to affect and impact upon corrupt government servants that there is Big Brother watching over you. Be careful, and I undertake extensive tour of the state, nook and corner, including remote village and backward areas. This tour of him had a long effect upon those villages, and it was vouched by Shri Justice S.B. Majij, who mentioned, when I met him at his residence, soon after the final rites performed of Sahibru, Karma Yogi, Karma Su Kaushalam Yogam, Eka Thathava Chinathanam Yogam, Chitta Vritti Nirodhaka Yogam. He achieved all these, and he is truly Karma Yogi. My salutations to the great personality and spirit personification. Human is not only flesh and bones but also spirit. Lord Christ said, but here is the example that the spirit, only human. Sahibru transformed his flesh and bones into spirit. The 9th of November 2019, 11:34 a.m. N. Venkatachala, born on the 3rd of July 1930 in Mittur village, Mulabagal Taluk, Kolar district, Karnataka, in a respectable agriculturist's family. Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Law from Mysore University. Wife Venkatachala. Children, M. V. Seshachala, M. V. Vedachala, Aruna Ramesh, Arjunachala. Enrolled as an advocate in High Court of Mysore. The 16th of November 1955. Served as a part-time reader in mercantile law. 1958 to 1970. Legal advisor to the University of Agricultural Sciences. Hebel. 1963 to 1973. Legal advisor to Bangalore University. 1970 to 1973. Elected as High Court pleader. 1968 to 1973. High Court Government Advocate. 1973 to 1977. Appointed as an additional judge for Karnataka High Court. The 28th of November 1977. Appointed as a permanent judge for Karnataka High Court. The 8th of September 1978. Tribunal for Prevention of Unlawful Activities under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. 1990. Appointed as the Acting Chief Justice of Karnataka High Court. May 1992. Judge of the Supreme Court of India. The 1st of July 1992 to the 22nd of July 1995. Best known for rejuvenating the Department of Karnataka Lokayukta, the anti-corruption agency, then CMS. M. Krishna chose him as the Lokayukta. Started on the 2nd of July 2001. He revamped the working of Lokayukta. In spite of not having suo motu powers to investigate, Shri Venkatachala used the appeals coming to Lokayukta to initiate probe and raid. Due to his proactive approach, number of complaints the office of Lokayukta was receiving dramatically increased from 20 to 25 per day to 200 to 250 per day. While Venkatachala was in tenure, he personally led hundreds of raids, often lashing out at corruption in political life. In his 4.5 years in office, he had looked into more than 50,000 cases of misconduct and complaints from members of the public. While purists questioned his model of raiding government officials without notices, he was lauded in equal measure for acting as a deterrent towards corruption. He even drew lot of criticism, often from politicians who accused him of tarnishing all politicians. With the same brush, he was discontinued as Lokayukta for the second term because of legal hurdles. Although a huge campaign was done in favor of him, owing to his popularity, he was featured in a Kannada film Lacha Saraja as an officer fighting the corruption. Suresh Kumar Makam. Yoga Acharya. Suresh Kumar Makam @gmail.com. Mobile 9448277075. 7892193475. https sites.google.com/sites/liavestham https www.youtube.com/@liavestham